I can't afford to stop. I can't afford to stop. I have so much to get done. There's people that are depending on me. I depend on myself. My family needs me. I need me. I need to get this done. God is depending on me. God has a purpose for my life. I need to get this done at my job. I have these goals. I have this set in place. Blah, 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 blah. And the list goes on, and we ignore the injury because we just need to keep going. And then we keep on going and realize that in that moment, our body's not capable. We're all gonna go through different times in life where we get injured. Something happens to us, whether it be when you were a kid and you were riding a bike and you fell off of the bike, scraped your knee, and now you're scared to ride your bike again, or as an adult you're playing your favorite sport and your body just doesn't hold up the way that it used to, or whatever the case may be. We all go through injuries. Injuries are a normal part of life. The only real way to avoid injury is by not doing anything. And a lot of the things that are worthwhile in life, the things that give exhilaration or give joy even, a lot of them involve putting your body at risk. I can't remember what year was it that happened, but I'll tell you this. It was the beginning of my relationship with my wife. I was playing basketball one day and I went up for a jump shot. And as I was going up for the jump shot, I made the shot coming down, my feet land on the ground, and as soon as I land on the ground, I felt a sharp pain. I didn't think nothing of it at first. I thought, oh, you know, maybe I just tweaked something, I'll be okay, I don't have to worry, everything's gonna be fine. And I remember we set up for the next play, and as I was standing there, I got off of the top of the key on the three-point line, and I got ready to receive the ball from my teammate. They checked the ball up, and as soon as I turned my body, I just turned to make a quick, drastic movement to get ready to receive the ball, my leg gave out. The injury was a lot more serious than I thought it would be, and at the time, I was a lot younger. I didn't have insurance. I only had a part-time job. I really didn't know what to do with this type of injury, but I knew that I needed to go to the hospital. I remember it just like this to this day. I remember getting up, walking to the car with my girlfriend at the time and my wife now, Joanna, and she was getting ready to take me, and I remember opening the door, and the act of bending my knee to get in the car was impossible. I was literally screaming from the pain of bending my knee trying to get into the car. Something so simple, but at that moment I couldn't do it because the pain was so serious. When the adrenaline came down from the basketball game, and when all of those things just came back to normal in my body realized just how serious the pain was. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes we go through injuries, we think that they're not that serious, and we think, I'm just gonna keep going. And we try to force things. We try to push our way through. We try to just keep on going because we think that that's what's really necessary. The injury is not that bad. I have to get this done. It might be a serious injury, but you tell yourself, you know what? Getting this done is much more important than stopping. I can't afford to stop. I have so much to get done. There's people that are depending on me. I depend on myself. My family needs me. I need me. I need to get this done. God is depending on me. God has a purpose for my life. I need to get this done at my job. I have these goals. I have this set in place. Blah, 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 blah. And the list goes on, and we ignore the injury because we just need to keep going. And then we keep on going and realize that in that moment, our body's not capable. It's basically when we take stock of our situation and we say, the necessity that I have in my life right now clearly outweighs the injury that I faced. But there's just some times that you go through things. There are just some times where your body experiences things. There are situations in your life that affect your heart that you cannot just continue. not only would continuing put your body at further risk, but on top of that, your body can't even continue to maintain the levels that you were at before. That's exactly what happened to me. I was in my early 20s, playing the best basketball of my life, in the best shape of my life. There was no reason why I needed to get injured, but I was playing, I went up to shoot, made the shot and everything, but I landed and my knee did not feel right. Something inside of there got injured. Something hurt so much that I couldn't walk. I couldn't play, definitely. I could not even bend my knee to get into the car. So we go to the hospital and they say, hey, something's definitely wrong here. You're going to have to rest. Since you don't have insurance, we're gonna put you on something that's called charity care. So I go to this appointment 4 months later. Meanwhile, during these 4 months, I literally cannot walk. I was in bed rest for 4 months. They tell me, hey, this is what happened to your knee. This is how long you have to wait for it to be okay again. Just continue to rest. You don't need surgery. Now keep in mind, I was on bed rest for 4 months, and this was the most frustrating thing for me because I had just came from an extremely active part of my life. Those 4 months being in bed rest, not being able to move at all, I could not stand up. It was absolutely crazy. And in those 4 months, I gained all the weight I had lost back. So frustration was building on top of frustration, and disappointment and anger and sadness, all of these feelings being wound up in the fact that I could not do what I wanted to do at that moment. But what my body needed was rest. I was so frustrated. I was just feeling and experiencing all of these different feelings because I could not do what I wanted to do. But what my body needed was rest. In order for me to even get back to zero, for me to even get back to a point where I could just walk normally, not even talking about playing basketball, not even talking about lifting weights at the gym again, in order to just get back to zero, my body needed rest. And some of us, we expect for our bodies, our hearts, and our minds to just be able to go through injury and keep on going and never stop for the rest that our bodies need. And this just isn't how life works. You can't just get injured to a degree where you are not the same person that you were before and just expect yourself to keep going. Your body needs to rest. Your body needs to get back to zero before you can get back to or above what you expect from yourself. You have to slow down. None of us are exempt from experiencing injury unless you're really just not doing anything. That's the only way you're not gonna get hurt. If you're not doing nothing, if you're not relating to anybody, if you're just staying still, okay, you're not gonna get hurt. But that's also not a life worth living. Whatever might be stopping you, whether it's fear of getting hurt or whether it's an injury that you actually faced that stopped you from being able to progress, or it's the fact that you actually need to go through the rest that will restore you. Whatever it is, I just want you to understand that there is a proper way to respond to injury. There is a proper way to respond to when you get hurt. It takes time, it takes intentionality, it takes focus, but you can overcome the things that are stopping you in your life. You can overcome them. You can get to a better place. You can focus on the areas that you need to focus on. You can get to where you need to go to if you make the right decisions necessary to be able to get there. None of us are going to live a life where we're not going to get hurt. We're all gonna get hurt. If we're living a life that's worthwhile, we're going to get hurt. So avoiding pain is not really the goal here. The goal is, what are you doing with the pain that you're experiencing in your life? And you have to choose what you're gonna do with the injury before it chooses for you. Before the anger overtakes you, before the pain overtakes you, before whatever it is that's gonna choose for you, chooses for you, you have to choose yourself. Somebody was just walking by, listening to what I was saying, and he stopped and he said, hey, what was the last thing that you said? And I repeated myself. And he said, unfortunately for me, what I did was I started shooting up heroin. And he shared that his father shot his mother multiple times. I asked him for his name and I said I would pray for him, and he said he appreciated that. But it was a sobering moment to realize that. The fact that he appreciated what I was saying, but he felt like the decision had already been taken out of his hands. May you learn from his story, and may you learn from my simple story from earlier. May you learn from the stories of your life, of the injury that you've experienced, and that you may choose better, that you may choose better. Hey, one of the ways that you can help me out for me to be able to get these messages out to people that need to hear them and to bless other people's lives is basically just subscribing to the channel. Any type of interaction that you have with the channel basically helps the channel to grow and helps YouTube to see that this content is something that people need to see. So if you could subscribe, like, comment on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you can do the same things. You can share it with another person. Hopefully it'll be able to bless their life and they'll be able to receive something from it. I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you all in the next video. God bless.